everybody. Welcome to KiCaSS Confidential. We are PinkieSwear Productions. My name is Kira. I am the QOC, the Queen of Creation. We also have Jenna. Say hi, Jenna.
Hi.
Elaine, say hello. Say hello, Elaine.
Hello. Hello.
There you go. And we also have Shawnette. Shawnette is going to tell us who our guest is today. Shawnette, take it away.
You guys are in for today. We have the one and only, our MC extraordinaire, the Lord of KiCaSS, Mr. Kato Kaelin, joining us today.
It's a podcast.
It's a podcast.
Oh, I love that Ice Wars backdrop.
Is she something or what?
Yeah, she's got it going on.
My coffee and straw. Hey, gorgeous ladies. I'm Kato Kaelin.
Nice to meet ya.
Hi. Is this a live show, or is this an edited show, or is it started, or is an intro? Tell me.
Yes, but not live.
Not live. All of the above, but not live.
Shawnette, it looks like you're kind of in prison, but it's a really nice prison. You've got the bars in the back.
I do, yeah.
It's kind of like you're in the prison. You're a bedazzled prison. Wait, let me save my jokes for this show. Are we taping?
We are taping right now.
If I go sideways, does that make it better? Yeah, nope. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely better for the picture for everybody to see you too. Yeah.
Are you wearing a crown?
She is.
I love it.
You see her, she's got a collection back behind her there. What, there's five of them?
Or more.
5 there, but then I've got 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've got like 10 total, I think. Oh, 11.
Okay, so do you know that I just had Miss Missouri on my podcast, and it's called 1 Degree of Scandalous. Are you aware of the big scandal that just happened in the Miss USA pageant last
No.
on Saturday?
Tell us about it.
Well, you guys, the 1 Degree of Scandalous, the podcast I do with Tom Zetter. He's Fox News and Fox Sports, and our show is just, we're getting all these great. We've kind of had our last 2 shows. We've done 22, but our last 2 have been cutting edge. We are breaking news story on this big fish scandal I'll tell you about, where people were cheating, and it's been on every national show. But I'll tell you about the Miss USA pageant first, because it just happened. So the winner of the Miss USA pageant, they found out now it's going to maybe have punishment, criminal punishment, that it was all predetermined who was going to win. So, and it's lots of money and lots of great for a prize for the winner. So I think the runner-up will be ready. The runner-up might actually be ready to accept the tiara. And so what happened is they found all these videos of them with the owners of the pageant, where they shot videos 5 months beforehand as if she won. And it's all on the podcast. So we had Miss Missouri on, who was, I guess, top 5. And she didn't want to accuse anybody, but she said, everybody kept going, why is this so strange that we all know who's going to win this? And Miss Texas won. And she was the first Filipino to ever win. But there's a lot in the show where she goes on and say. So right after our show, it was breaking news on Yahoo and Fox. And it just became a big thing. So we were cutting edge. So that's one thing, 1 Degree of Scandalous. Wow. And the week before that, they had this huge, this should be close to you, Shawnette, in Ohio. Lake Erie, they have these fish tournaments for walleye. Well, these guys have won 5 of them, over $400,000. And the last one that they've won, they always ask to have their fish weighed last. I guess it's like a 24-hour period. You go fishing and someone wins an incredible prize. Well, they put weights in the fish, and they weighted last so they could see what they had, how many weights they would have to put in.
Oh my gosh.
So these guys kept going, well, we got more fish than them. Well, how do they keep winning? So they cut them open, and all these weights came out, and fish fillets. They put the fish fillets in so the weights wouldn't clank. And they're really interesting shows too. I'm not kidding you. It would be a Netflix documentary. It's so good because these people take the job. They take this fishing so serious. And I'm from Wisconsin. I used to go fishing, and it's it's competitive. But when they start having prizes for $200,000 and give away boats,
That's huge.
Anytime that there's a prize and money involved, there's cheating. So that's the great thing about KiCaSS. There's no cheating.
No cheating.
PinkieSwear Productions, even though Shawnette's in jail behind bars, there is no cheating. I vote we raise money and get Shawnette out of prison.
Stay tuned.
God.
We'll be having a Shawnette-a-thon. Just wait.
Yeah,
Yeah,
GoFundMe.
And so if you, all four of you, have a scandal, you have got to be on my show as I do your show. So if not, please get a scandal.
Get a
or
scandal.
Maybe an outlandish scandal.
Well, I'm
Maybe
going to
we
be the
get a
next
scandal with one
Miss
of you.
Universe. So there it is. I've paid everyone off. So
I hate the Miss Universe pageant. Someone from Earth always wins. What's up with that?
right?
I voted for Miss Jupiter, and I'm telling you, and Shawnette voted for Mr. Uranus.
Oh, God.
We like
We
Uranus.
got it.
Fun fact. Did you know that Uranus, that was not the first name for that planet? You want to know what the first name was? George.
Yes, hemorrhoid.
George.
George. So Uranus was
George?
so much better.
It was named after King George III, the Mad King.
Oh, they named it. Oh, really? For the crown.
Look at that.
What?
Fun fact, Jenna.
Yeah, I agree with that,
1781.
but 1981?
1781.
Yeah, I was going to say. What George were we talking
He's still
about?
kicking it in 1981. That's all. The Queen was alive.
Ronald Reagan.
The Queen was alive.
So, Jenna, I'll give you a fun fact. Did you know that there are always, that's why people say they're zodiac signs, nothing of that, it can't ever be true, because in reality, there used to be only 10 months, always 10 months in the year. The months changed with Julius Caesar because Julius Caesar said he wanted 2 months more. Julius, which means July, Augustus is August. August and July are added months. So before Julius Caesar, there were always 10 months. But as a ruler, he commanded 2 months be named after him.
Wow.
So people in July and August are null and void.
Yes, if you're born in July and August, you could actually only be like,
It's like
5 years old.
February 29th.
Yeah.
Kids so smart.
Oh, my God.
Hey, I think it is leap year this year, isn't it?
Gosh.
I don't know.
I think
It's
2023 is a leap year.
Oh, next year.
It
I
might
don't
be.
think so. God, I
No.
hope not. I just had calendars printed and it doesn't have the 29th on it.
Uh-oh.
But maybe I'm wrong. I thought it was. I think it's every 4 years. I thought the
Yeah.
last one was in 2018.
Oh.
Four
I like
days.
to be surprised.
Extra day.
Oi.
So do people know how great your podcast is? Because if not, I'll be the unsolicited testimonial that you guys are the hardest working, the most fun working, and I think what I really believe, and this is not me having there's a little brown spot on my nose today. It's the same brown spot from yesterday, but honestly, it's because because it's contagious how much fun you guys have, and I think that brings success to you all. And I know I live for fun, and I think that's why everybody gets along, because that really is the key. And then when you have fun, other people have fun, you pay it forward, and and yeah, it's just I'm seeing every one of your posts and the testimonials of these people, and they're on the same thing. It's just like the best ever Comic-Con to go to, the most fun. It's because, how many Comic-Cons you go where you can actually sit in a room and have a breakfast? How many Comic-Cons you really can spend that much time with someone? It doesn't happen.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's great. And we have the Kato. Who doesn't want to come see Kato?
Okay, no, yeah, I can't wait to meet him. He's a terrific guy. He's just so
I don't know.
much
This Brian just keeps getting in the way.
fun.
This Brian guy.
Oh,
So we've talked about 1 degree of scandalous. We've talked about our fishing expose. We've talked about the Miss Universe expose. Let's talk about Ice Wars a little bit, Kato. Tell us about Ice
Okay.
Wars.
well, Ice Wars, we're going to have our next one. We're looking at 2 places. It's Florida or Wyoming. And the reason we're going possibly for those is because the venues want to pay for the advertising, which is the key. So the Ice Wars, if no one knows what Ice Wars is, basically it's, we saw the success of UFC. You know, UFC started with UFC 1, and I believe now they're on UFC like 792 or something of how many different UFCs there have been. And I always wanted to be in a KFC fight, just to fight against chicken breast. And instead of the octagon, I fight in a bucket. No, but so we saw the success of this, and how many people, you know, I'm not even a hockey guy, but I got so into it because I'm involved in Ice Wars. So my friend Charlie Nama played in NHL. He has all relationships with guys playing in NHL now, National Hockey League, and played before that. And the NHL got rid of fighting. And so many people go to the hockey games to see a fight. Well, we eliminated the hockey game and just go right to the fight. And, so our last 2 we did in Canada, in Edmonton, and a place called the River Creek Casino, which is gorgeous. So we did it in their auditorium. We have ice rink built, and it's we call it the ice box, and it's sort of like an octagon. And it's a round robin of fighting. We had last one. We had 14 with 1 winner. He becomes king of the rink, and I'm the man. I did some of the announcing with a guy named Chris Therian. He played for the Philadelphia Flyers. He is their broadcaster for the last 15 years. So the credibility is great. So when Chris said, Kato, working with you has brought so much fun, and it's once again the same thing. I've commentated sports before, but never hockey. We got along, and then I went into, we got along fantastically. And then I went into the audience and I did the man in the street talking to people. And the reactions are people when I say this, because I'm part of it, I'm seriously not saying this because I'm part of it. The people go insane loving it. They say this is better than the UFC. So I think we know we have something. It's just starting. And when something starts, you kind of work out all the problems as you guys know. You see what works, what doesn't. We're doing the same thing with Ice Wars. We know what the people, they love the ice skating, and these guys want to win the money, and they go all out. And the funniest thing was one of the fighters had one of those goatees, really long ZZ Top kind of beards. And he, young guy, but he had that, you know what I'm talking about, those beards?
ZZ Top beard.
He was fighting one of the guys, and I was right probably 3 feet from it because I'm right up at the ice box with the barrier. The fighter took his beard, just grabbed it. He ripped off almost the entire beard, bleeding, which is gross, but it was bleeding. And then the guy looked at his hand with the hair, and he just threw it up in the air. It's the greatest promo I've ever seen in my life.
Oh my God.
But so we have this Ice Wars going on. Now we have we did it with a company called Fight TV. And they are a pretty big streaming company that do all the fights, UFC, boxing. But another company got interested that we really wanted to be in bed with, and they're called Live One. And they're gigantic, especially with bands that want to go from the Rolling Stones to anything. They do the streams, and they saw it, and they said, we would love to be your streaming service. So we're negotiating with them now. And our next one will be probably January, either Florida or Wyoming. And I'm just so glad to be a part of it. And all the people I work with, once again, I'm not a brown nose, all incredibly great people. And these guys that fight, you could not imagine guys wanting to kill the other guy. When it's over, they hug each other. They grab a beer. And most of them are Canadian. Not all of them. I've never seen camaraderie like that in my life, where they're just, it's so brand new. And they support each other. Even 2 guys got completely knocked out. You know, we have a doctor on set. They have MMA gloves, and they just have this friendship growing. Real quick, one of the guys I took pictures. If you go to my Instagram, it's Kato _Kaelin, Kaelin. I've got pictures of guys. whose eyes can't even open. They're so swollen. Anyways, I don't like fighting, but I do like Ice Wars.
I mean, I gotta say that one of the best promos I've seen for Ice Wars had to feature a guy. I think we met him. What was his name? Was it Tim? Was it Tony?
No,
Oh,
I think you're thinking of Tom Brittany.
Tom, that's it.
Tom Brittany. And I'll tell you how that all started. You guys all had this huge party the Friday before the Outlander and the Last Kingdom. And I met Tom there. I didn't know a lot of the actors. And once again, everybody became instant friends. So Tom and I talked pretty much all night. And I just said, this guy's a cool guy. He's got a great sense of humor. And I like this guy. So by day 3, the breakfast, I said, Tom, I got this show, Ice Wars. I said, would you do this bit with me? I explained it to him. He said, let's shoot it now. So he did the whole thing. I had a little edit there when he punches me. I go, Tom, come on. He says something like, Ice Wars. I'm a really big fan of Ice Wars and you should watch it. And I came in and I go, Tom, you're an actor. Can you make it a little bit more exciting? And he thought, and then he goes, yeah, you mean like this? Boom!
That was great.
I'm laying on the ground and I just go, that's more I like it.
I gotta say, one criticism for Ice Wars is that they gotta have you next time that they go on Pat McAfee, because that was a hilarious bit that they did with Pat McAfee, and I'd love to see you on the McAfee show.
Well, I was on. We've done it. I was on the one of the shows. We did it in Connecticut, and I did it with the guys. Our president of the company is on a Netflix documentary, and it's called Untold Crimes and Penalties. And it's the story of the Galante family. Jenna, are you familiar with this?
Yeah.
It's the #1 doc on Netflix called Untold Crimes and Penalties. It's a story of the Galante family about the father who bought his son a hockey team. He was the youngest owner at 17, and they're called the DB Trashers. So they're also behind us with the Ice Wars. And he bought his team, and the team was awful. And so the son and the father just said, fight every game, get into a fight. So they start fighting, and then the dad started getting major A-list talent, and they won the championship. So I don't know if you guys remember a movie many years ago with Paul Newman called Slapshot. Yeah. So they had these guys called the Hanson brothers. So we had them come out, and it's we have the popularity of the Galantes because of that special, and they're on board with us with the Ice Wars, and they saw that. By the way, that promo of Tom. I also did one with the Tom Cruise impersonator. We played those right before in the auditorium on these incredible big screens like you see at concerts, and they had Tom on screen, and they had this. And it was the right before the fireworks go off, they do their speech, and it goes right into the announcing of the guys who'll be fighting. And it was like pyrotechnics. Like I said, this was a really well produced show. I mean, they spent a lot. It was about a 10 camera crew.
Wow.
Cameras on every referee, and like I said, pyrotechnics when they walked out. And it's still, people can still order on Fight TV and see what it's all about. That's FITE TV.com. And so the last fights are up there. And I'm, by the way, I'm in touch with all these guys. They Instagram and they message me, text me about when I'm going to come to their town. So I'll see them all soon. But they are tough guys. I don't know if you guys know, ice skating is hard. Ice skating and fighting is even harder. And, they're pulling on your jersey, taking shirts off. Hello, Shawnette. And they go all out. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Oh my God.
So we and by the way, the our 1 degree of scandalous, we're on this company called Podcast One, Apple and YouTube. You can watch these. But I work with a gentleman who was the major broadcaster in Chicago when Michael Jordan was everything Chicago, winning the championships. He was there with Tom Brady. He was there at Fox Sports Boston, and he's so good at what he does, and he's got this his energy and how much he loves working and how positive he is. We are the perfect, if you've seen it, we're the perfect balance of hosts together, and I think we're becoming really successful on the show, and I think it's because it's the dichotomy of Tom and Kato on the show, because we can agree to disagree on a lot of things, and I think that's important. because I think in the world right now, people that disagree with someone, a lot of people just hate you, don't give you a chance. So I think it's good to be able to disagree and still become friends.
Yep.
Oh,
I love One Degree of Scandalous. I think it's fantastic. I was all over it when Bennifer got married. So yeah.
Oh yeah, and that was another breaking show. We had the Britney Spears' first husband who jumped the fence. We had him on the day after, and then TMZ picked up on our show, and it just went crazy. We had him on our show. He explained his side of why it wasn't stalking, and he explained that he grew up with Britney Spears from third grade on, and they were neighbors and always seen each other. And they, when she was so popular during her what was her first album again? The Baby One More Time.
Hit Me One More Time.
Oh yeah.
Yes. I always thought that was a song by Chris Brown. I'm kidding. But I think
his was Hit Me 10 More Times.
Yeah, Chris Brown teamed up. That's going to be a big hit. Anyway, we had he explained a story about how they used to go to church together, and so she felt like, okay, I can trust this guy. Grew up with him, so he explained his side of the story, and I take the view of, I let you explain your side. That's it. People can decide.
Yeah,
I pick no side, but it's if you saw it, it's a pretty crazy show, and he was pretty wild, and he's vaping during the show. Whatever. He was a good dude, though. We'll see.
Definitely good dude.
So Kato, I got a question. How did you meet Shawnette and Elaine? Like, how did this all come about? I'm really curious.
Well, I met Shawnette and Elaine at the Wizard World. At Wizard World, I was the host for 4 years. And if people don't know, Wizard World was the largest traveling Comic-Con. And the relationships I got through that have been incredible. Elaine and Shawnette are two of them. And I think Shawnette found out I was from Wisconsin, and I knew she was from Wisconsin. And every city I would see them at, and it was
She's
just
stalking you.
Friends. And I think Elaine used to always bring me fudge, and my doctor said, "Yeah, I'm supposed to have more fudge in my diet," and and all the treats they had, and it was just kind of an instant friendship. And then one of my dear became very close to was John Mata, who I think Shawnette knows, and Elaine. John Mata, he was the president of Wizard World, but John also started the WB, the CW network. He was the president of Warner Brothers, all of Warner Brothers, for 29 years. And I just talked to him yesterday. So, and I told him from you guys, I'm doing your podcast. So he sends his best. But John is also an entertainment lawyer, probably one of the biggest A-list names that he handles still to this day. And you guys know, Sean, he's the humblest man in the world, the kindest, the smartest. So if any kind of contracts come up, John always helps pro bono. He doesn't ever ask for anything. And so that started the whole Wizard world still today. I'm in touch with everybody that's going on. And I really believe, that something will still happen with that Wizard World. I know it went to Fan Expo, but I hear from everybody it's not the same.
No.
I haven't been to one and I'm telling you, I'd say over 150 people. When you hear from about 150 people saying things, you kind of start believing, like, really? So I just hear it doesn't have an energy at all.
No.
And I haven't been to it, so but who knows? And I'm going to be, for Halloween, we're going to Paul Kessler's house. He's the owner of Wizard World. They sold to Fan Expo. So I'll see a lot of the Wizard World people there, and a lot of people that you know.
Fan Expo is missing one necessary ingredient to make everything wonderful, and that's you. I mean, when you talk about like there's no energy, like it is so missing you, Kato.
It's cold.
So Elaine, have you been to a Fan Expo show?
Yes.
Where did you go? Where did you see?
Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
You remember a guy named King Arthur Daniels? He's on stage. He's a guy who always does Purple Rain. He goes to every show. Arthur. He writes me every time and says exactly that. And I like no sour grapes. I just don't know who runs Fan Expo, but I hear it all the time that I don't know how they're doing with crowds, if there's success.
Yeah.
And But
Yeah.
Wizard World was so much more camaraderie, and there was
Oh,
just
yeah.
it just had a great vibe. And
Yeah.
never did I see in 4 years of doing over 65 shows. I never saw no one never get along. From celebrities to the people. I'm sure there were some things that went on, but I never saw it, and everybody could not have been, kind of with stuff that went on.
We have fun memories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun.
Even what it's like when the best parts are when you do a show and you go downstairs to the bar or eat food. Everybody's together.
Yep.
And everybody is friends.
Yeah.
Yep.
Do you remember, Kato, how many times you asked
Wait.
Shawnette and I? Oh, what?
I want to just say hi real quick. Honey.
Shawnette.
Please just say hi.
Yay,
I want,
yes.
you know what, you guys, I want to introduce someone who's so special to me. This is, wait a minute, don't come in yet. This is and your friend. This is Kaelin. She's here. You never met her.
Hello.
I heard about you guys so much of great stuff about you too. And you guys. It's like,
Oh, thank you.
So,
Yes,
so
as Shungy would say to you guys, I see, yeah.
And I saw the pictures from the last event you guys did. Wow, it looks really a lot of fun.
Wheeler, come here quick.
you need to come next time.
I'll
Come
tell you
next
what,
time.
but Shungy, on Sundays, she knows I'm an insane Green Bay Packer fan, which they lost. So she gives me time to be alone.
Hello.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I learned from him. Okay, where's your banana phone? This is my iPhone 12.
Wait a minute. When did she take over the show?
She took over.
Introduce us. So her and her friend just went out. They gave me time. We adopted a daughter.
Daughter.
She's so good at doing the dishes.
I know it's great to see you guys. Like, I'm very interested for what you guys are doing. I hope it's all success for you guys.
Well,
Thank you.
So,
I have a question for you.
What?
Elaine had a question, I think.
well, I have two questions. One is, truly, why are you not sitting in that chair? And secondly, how can we get in touch with you without having to get in touch with him?
I can get you all the info. I'll tell you honestly the truth. I've never met anybody smarter besides me.
Okay, but
Me.
you know about me.
No, she's let me tell you, she's constantly always trying to make herself better studying.
No, he always said I'm communist just because I'm from Asia. I'm like, Jesus, I'm Republican right now.
I met her when I was traveling to Beijing. I went to the Great Wall and we took her to Beijing. It was the most incredible. And by the way, the wall worked. We did not see one Mexican.
And by the
Seriously,
way,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
And by the way, I heard that joke 3,000 times already. I'm like, please have a new joke.
Yes.
And then he's like, oh no, my joke will do the recycling.
You guys don't realize she's screaming in my ear and I can't hear a thing. By the way, her name is Chung Yi, which is a very common Chinese name. The translation in English, it means patient zero.
You made a joke. 等会儿我跟你讲. Anyway, that joke I heard 5,000 times. Okay, I have a new name, so think harder. I want my new name today, and he's gonna work on that.
Oh yeah, she says she wants to have an American name, and I just said, why not Shawnette?
I love that. That's a great name. Yeah.
No, we'll
So-
think. Anyways,
Okay, I'm not interrupting you guys meeting anymore. So you guys have a great
it's a
meeting.
podcast. This is their show you're on.
I love. Oh Jesus, I'm already on the show.
Yeah, you're already in the show. He had to
You
go
guys
through
are
a
so
process. You
sweet.
just show up. It's fantastic.
She's a good energy.
You guys are
Ice
so
Wars.
sweet.
Ice Wars.
Oh yeah, I see that. Wow, it's great. Ice Wars.
Oh, and by
Love
the way, you should know this, Jenna, that she saw the Ice Wars and she goes, I'm not even into sports. I hate sports. But she goes, I'd watch this.
It's kind of funny. Like people just punch each other. Like how do you say that? Like beat each other's. Like beat them. What is that word? Like expression?
Beat them up.
Yeah, beat them up, beat each other like out of the desk on the ice. I'm like so funny. It's really funny.
Right?
I laugh my ass off.
I mean,
I
come
just
on.
realized
It's a bunch
you saw
of
that,
dudes
yeah.
beating the crap out of each other on ice.
Yeah.
What could be better?
Nothing better. Nothing better. And you know what's funny is that people don't know that if we don't have the auditorium, we build the auditorium, and some of it's on synthetic ice, and then the others are on real ice, and you can't tell the difference. There's a synthetic ice that hockey teams practice on.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's very expensive, but a lot of people that are training for the Olympics, if they can't go outdoors, they have built-in ice skating rinks in their home or whatever, but it's expensive that you can make synthetic ice and you don't know. So I went on it and tried it. I was like, oh my, it's identical to ice. The only thing is you can't, when you stop, it won't spray the ice because it's synthetic.
Oh wow!
Isn't that great?
What if she loves Ice Wars? She'd love the Steel Soldiers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she saw the fighting. I said that.
Yeah, I saw the fighting.
At the comedy
Yeah.
with the Outlander.
I think it's a really funny idea, but I think it's a little bit too violent for me still.
Oh no, that was great. No, they were protected at the event. Remember, I showed you the guys in the steel, and they were hitting swords.
Wow. Yeah. Oh, that one. Yes. No, I think that's fun. I thought he's talking about the real blood.
So you come next year, we'll let you take one of the swords and beat one of the guys in armor.
I want to dress up for your sword.
Yeah, I got a feeling she's gonna come here, and by the end of the show, she'll be leaving with Tom Brittany, which is okay.
Yeah. Watch
I
out.
know. He has many friends. What is that joke, please?
Which
He
one?
said, my wife.
I said that
that joke.
I go, my wife is, she's terrific. She loves making love at least 14 times a day. I said, thank God I got a lot of friends. But seriously.
And I'm like, holy cow, my dream came true.
Jesus, honey, what are you saying? You're like, get in here and say bye to them. All right, you girls.
Okay, we're gonna take a walk. It's so wonderful chatting with you guys. I just laughed my ass off for the last 5 minutes. It's like amazing highlight of my day. Thank you.
So great.
Yeah, that's right. By the way, that's tip number 1 on Sunday: never drink at a champagne brunch.
Only drink some water. Organic.
Organic water. No, they're fine.
So I'll see you guys soon. Wow. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
No, I can't top that.
Oh my gosh, she's a kid.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Oh, that wasn't my wife. This is just a brat. I'm kidding. No, very good energy. But yeah, when I did the event, I show her obviously all the videos and all that, and same thing. It's like, oh my God, how much fun can that be? So
Yeah.
You guys, I know you got so many great plans coming up with the. I think it's a genius idea with Kato Cab, and I think that is going to be hilarious.
Yeah.
With Donnie in that large, whatever it is, Ford Star, whatever that van is. It's brilliant, very scary. We're gonna hop in. But, yeah,
It's gonna be great. Donnie's in charge.
Donnie's, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Fantastic.
Donnie knows all. Believe me, every time I was coming to the event, Donnie never took the shortcuts. He just would always be so proud of the city. He would take you on every tour. It's like, Donnie, you're expecting me a half hour ago. Do you remember the event at it was called Holy Ghost? What was it? What was
The Holy Ghost.
Holy Ghost, the event. How cool were all those people with the bartenders and waiters and waits? Weren't they the greatest people? They were like they're not used to seeing that kind of fun thing.
No.
And I don't know if you guys know that, but I became kind of friends with them all. Every day I'd go in there and have someone sing, do that happy birthday thing when there's a crowded restaurant, and they'd say like the Pilar, the waitress, it's her birthday. And you remember how crowded it was with the brunch that's going on there? God, it's so much fun. That also should be filmed. All those things.
That should be. Yeah, that's hilarious. Oh my God.
Oh, you're killing me.
Wow.
How funny.
So Kato, you've had some really crazy stuff happening lately. There's a wedding, there's a birthday weekend. What's going on? Is it Zucker?
It's like
what's going on?
Zucker's is the place to be.
So, yeah. Oh, by the way, David Zucker has got a new book coming out. He's going to do a whole promo tour on that. So David Zucker, for those that don't know, he did all the Naked Gun movies. He did the Airplane, which really made him and his brother is Jerry Zucker, who did Ghost and The Ruthless People, Mad World. I can't. Between them, they've made over $1 billion of their films have made over $1 billion. Not them, but they're very wealthy too. All their comedies are probably at every top 5 list in the world of funniest films. So David, a bit older, but we're from the same hometown. And I went to a high school, was competing with his high school. So I always kept going, my God, when you grow up, you go like, I want to meet the Zuckers. I want to be in comedy. I want to be in the films. And so they were like the pride of Wisconsin. I used to do a radio show. I did a few, and I did the one I was on, the Howard Stern. He was on our show, then I was after Howard in LA. And then after I went there, I went to another station, and I did a show with someone named Dr. Danielle. Dr. Danielle is, you know, Dr. Drew. It's one of those shows you have sex therapy, and there are people that call in, but like Love Lines. So she had a Love Line show. I was the co-host. So she was dating at that time David Zucker, and I said, "This is what's so weird about life. When you put it out there in the energies, I knew one day I would meet him, and not only meet him, became a good friend. And they got married, had kids. They're no longer married, but they're great friends. So I've been in touch with David for years now. He put me in a film called Basketball, and he's got a new film coming out that I'm sure I'll have something to do with it. He let me get married at his house, and then his birthday was just this week, and we had a huge party at his house, and a lot of Wisconsin people and a lot of industry people. And there was a woman there that I always wanted to meet that always made me crack up. And I just said, I got to meet this person, but I'm going to do a little trivia guessing game for you all. And if you know the answer, Jenna, because you listen to the show, it's a woman, and she couldn't have been any nicer to me, and was a Kato fan. She was on Saturday Night Live. I will not tell the years, but think of your favorite characters, and you each get one, and I'll say no, and then it'll go on to the next person. Who wants to start? Shawnette, you pick the people who you want to start first. Call them out.
Me?
Yeah, no, you name someone. You can go last, but you name someone. They have one clue of a guess, and I can go, you can say, does she have blonde hair? I'm not going to give, and I go, no, and then it goes to the next person. So you moderate. It's kind of like,
okay.
Wait, it was a Saturday Night Live guest or cast member?
Cast member, and maybe hosted it once or twice also. But no, Shawnette will give, you tell me who wants the first question, Shawnette.
We'll go with Jenna since she knows it all when it comes to that.
Was this female SNL cast member, did she have a mole on her face?
I didn't see a mole. Maybe she had it removed since I saw her this week. Who's next?
Elaine.
Is this cast member still on the show?
No, but it did major films. Next person.
Oh.
Okay, Kira.
Well, wait, can we guess if we think we know who it is?
Yes, you can.
Maya Rudolph?
No.
Okay.
Next question. It goes, Shawnette, you go.
Okay. Are her initials JLD?
No, who's that?
I know.
Julia Louise Dreyfus.
I was like,
no. I'll tell you what. I'll give a little hint.
Okay.
They did movies on her character. That was one of the characters. She had a motion picture as one of her characters. And she's always with Will Ferrell.
MS.
MS.
Initials MS.
Yes.
Yep.
She's very...
This is very accurate. Smelling her fingers. But she was really, really cool. She was there. A lot of comedy writers. But like I said, David's terrific. And, he does a lot of traveling. Maybe someday he'll do the Outlander podcast. Or the KiCaSS.
KiCaSS Confidential.
That would be fantastic.
With Kato Kaelin.
What a great person. Who else was there that was, where Jerry's brother was there. It's all these people that I always kind of grew up with and I always admired, but a lot of just established writers. So, and it was fun, we had great food, fun, sports on, and it was just chill. Nobody had attitude. A lot of times you think people would have attitudes, but nobody had an attitude.
Yeah, that's great.
That's amazing.
So you got married there?
Yeah, David offered up his house to get married there. So we did
Oh, nice.
and here's the thing, I doing another show I have, which we're pitching right now. And the person that married me, I don't know if you guys know, I did a show called Eye for an Eye. Did 162 episodes. It was a court comedy show. The judge was a guy named Extreme Akeem. Instead of a gavel, he had a baseball bat of justice. And we do revenges. So I'll tell you, one of the craziest ones was, and he's from Charleston. So he's a judge, talks like this. He goes, well, I think you've got a punishment. So the thing was, there'd be a plaintiff and a defendant. And then if they lose, they have to do a revenge. So one guy kept parking in handicapped zones and he wasn't handicapped. And so the judge said, you're going to get an epidural. You're going to see what it's like. So he numbed his legs and he had to do 5 things, like get into a tub to see what it was like. And then it was that type show. It was crazy, but a huge following. And he married me. He is the judge.
Wow.
And we have a new show now. And we're going to do this. I think it's a brilliant idea by a gentleman who's been my friend for 30 years named Dan Frisch. He did produce films called Hostel with Eli Roth, probably one of the grossest horror films coming up in Halloween.
Yes,
Hostel. He worked with Quentin Tarantino. He did Roadhouse and another one I can't think. And he's doing a new, Dan Frisch, by the way, he's doing a new series on Amazon with Elvis's granddaughter Keough. I don't know her first name. Riley Keough, is that her name?
Keough, yeah.
Yeah, so he's producing that. So he came up with the concept, and Dan's been my friend. So we've been working on this thing called Kids Court, where the kids can sue their parents, their aunts, their uncles, because there's so many different things going on with kids nowadays. And they have a jury of their peers, and they go to trial. For instance, if Julie, who's 10, says, I think I'm old enough to get a tattoo, she takes her parents to court, and we'll decide whether or not.
Oh my
and
gosh.
I'll be the correspondent, like I did in the other show, hosting, and Akeem as the judge. So we're currently writing all the shows, busy with that. We'll shoot a pilot and then pitch it, but we've got nothing but positive feedback. I just think the timing is perfect for this because of what's kind of going on in the world where kids are so different with parents and I want to do Xbox, I want to do this. So you can have certain punishments. And anyways, we're doing that. We just worked on the budget the last few days, and it's a work in progress, but it is. I'm breaking this on your show today. Hopefully it goes. In Hollywood, doing pitches is very, very, very tough to get on, but our team and Dan produces so many shows. We think it's a big winner. Kids Court.
Wow.
It sounds great. Keep it away from my kids.
That does.
Yeah, and we also hired a psychologist for certain episodes. I think her name's Cooper Lawrence. I can't think of it because I don't have the script in front of me, where she can comment on, she's a child psychologist. So we'll have expert opinion in some of the shows. So we'll have fun, seriousness, all that, in the show.
As long as you don't have on the psychiatrist from the Depp trial that farted on stand, I think it'll be good. Or maybe you should. I don't know.
That sounds more like a 1 degree of scandalous. I love to have anybody farting in my show. Are you kidding me? I told that. I go, Amber Heard, you can poop in my bed any day. I'm telling you.
My God.
I always said that was 21 Dump Street.
That was awful.
21 Dump
Oh my
Street.
God. But none of us could look away. We could not look away from that trial.
Dumpster fire. Yeah.
I watched. Yeah, I know.
I can't wait for the adaptations to hit. There's one going to Hulu, one going to Netflix, I think. There's 2 of them coming out.
Well, on 1 degree of scandalous, we had one of the people that got to sit in the audience, and his name was he's very popular on Instagram, and he's called the DUI guy. He's an attorney in Kentucky, and he sold for charity. He took all the notes during the trial. He sold his notebook for an amazing amount of money, gave every cent to charity. That's one of the back episodes of 1 degree of scandalous. So, like I said, we always, Tom actually goes out, and because he was a news anchor, he goes out and he gets like the most interesting things that are kind of going on. We try to catch them before, everybody wants them.
They hit mainstream,
Yeah. We've been kind of lucky with that. So with that going on, and really focus on Kids Court and 1 degree of scandalous, we do 1 or 2 of those. And I really research guests when we do this stuff. And I think the best thing, if you watch the show, we have a seriousness, but every time they meet me, I always see a smile come to someone's face. And I always think like, oh, that's such a good sign. Makes me feel better. And then they have a serious topic and it becomes a kind of a hit show.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And can I brag about myself since it's my show? So I just met with a huge management group. I have one now, but I have a really big one, manager talent. And I'm hoping I just had this meeting on Friday and we'll see what happens with all the stuff that's going on. And I sent out this show that I did on Dish Network. It was called Sports Haters. And Sports Haters was with a host and a host, but I don't know if you guys do sports now, but a lot of the sports people, we shot my show 2017 and it aired on Dish on Saturday nights. But our motto was pushing the envelope until we get paper cuts. And it's before we said what people would say on the couch. And now every sports show is doing that. I knew we were ahead of our time with that.
Yep.
Oh. So I have a question.
Molly Shannon. Oh, that's over. Elaine, we ended that game.
Airport races.
Yeah, airport races.
Airport races are my common thread. I did one anytime I'm in an airport, I see everybody running the gates or running out of the airplane. And I do this thing called airport races where I just start filming people and I do it as if it's a horse race and they have to get to the next gate, or maybe they have to get to their phone, or maybe they have to go to the bathroom. And from going to the bathroom, I started doing, did you wash your hands? And that has to do with the COVID thing. Always asking people they're sterile. So I keep having my own spin-offs of my own goofiness. But a funny thing about the airport race is I was contacted one by Extra, the TV show called Extra.
Yep.
And they said to me, we want, this is really good stuff you do on Instagram. We would like this to be part of a show. And so I said, great. And then they said, we got to get release forms, but I could never get anybody to sign a form because, first of all, they're going to a gate and I'm doing this by myself. I didn't have like a producer, but I knew from that moment, I said, this is a really funny idea. So I want to start seeing if I can insert that into other things that I'm doing. But first of all, I love being a man of the street. I love meeting people. And I just think that's the most fascinating thing is meeting people.
You know, what's funny is I was good friends with a morning DJ from Vegas years ago, and he had a character on the morning show called Danger Boy, and they would always send him out on these things that he could possibly get beat up, where he was just kind of being a jerk to people. And they sent him to McCarran Airport in Las Vegas with a bullhorn. And he hung out in the bathroom in the men's room. And if a guy didn't wash his hands, he would follow him out with a bullhorn and yell, ladies and gentlemen, do not touch this man. He has just used the bathroom and not washed his hands.
I love it.
Pilots, everything. And he would just get flipped off. And it was like, oh my God, it was so uncomfortable. It was deliciously uncomfortable.
That would be really tough nowadays for someone to actually start fighting you or do something like that knock you out.
I don't think you'd want to do it now, but no. Not these days.
Wait, my TV just popped on by itself. Let me turn this down. Is it too loud? Can you hear it? Okay.
No.
Oh, good. I have it low anyways. So my Sundays, let me tell you about my Sundays. And thank God I'm doing your show today because I'm from Wisconsin. And like David Zucker, we are insane. And I mean insane Green Bay Packer fans. And they're having an awful year and they lost. And I take it really hard. And I'm not kidding you either. My days are ruined because I'm so emotional. And I'll tell you why. My parents have passed away. My father owned restaurants in Milwaukee, 2 of them. And he had 44 tickets to Packer games where he'd take his best customers. Wow. And I grew up with that as a kid. So I saw my dad and my mom. We had a hallway, and my parents were just kind of like Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. So they look like when the Packers scored a touchdown, my mom would be in the hallway, my dad, and they'd run and meet each other, hit their stomachs and kick. I grew up with that. So, and if you're from Wisconsin, you become you're loyal to your team. You're loyal to all your sports teams. Yeah. So I know my Father in heaven is going. He'd get so upset to see the Packers lose. And it's really ingrained in me, and it probably times 100. And Thank God I'm doing your show because now I can smile. I was in a depression, no joke,
Aw.
because it affects me so much, and I hate that it affects me. But
Oh.
having said that, Bill Maher, I don't even know, he has a thing called Club Random on his podcast. He had Aaron Rodgers on. You
Oh,
know
wow.
Aaron Rodgers? He's the
Mhm.
Packers quarterback, and he's pretty popular. Pat McAfee has him on. And
Yep.
anytime he does anything, you get immediately 10 million hits. So on the show, unbeknownst to me, he was on September 1st, right before the season. And Bill Maher tells a story that in 2004, I was with him at a party, and I said, "We got this guy coming up. He's amazing." Everybody's going, "Sure, Kato, who you're a Packer fan, that's why." And it's Aaron Rodgers. So Aaron Rodgers is on the show, heard that. He said, "Much love to Kato. Kato,
Yeah.
come. I've got my suite. We're going to go to the Super Bowl." And he guaranteed me a ticket with Bill, fly out the suite to the Super Bowl. Now I know it won't happen because Packers won't make it. So it broke my heart.
Oh.
But the shout out from a guy from Wisconsin who's like God there is incredible for me to say, yes.
Yep.
Someone
I saw
made
that.
the K train.
That's so
Yep.
cool. Oh my
In the
gosh.
K frame.
Yeah, so
K
that's on it.
train.
So I posted, Jenna, you're on my Instagram. I posted that. Kira, that's something you should watch too, because it made me do the thing. It made me feel about the whole reason is because of my mom and dad.
Aw.
And I come from a family of 6, and we are all just every Sunday you just watch the Packers. And when it's cold, there's nothing to do but watch sports.
Right.
Now,
Yeah.
But now with the internet, everything's different. Now everything is 24 hours, 24/7. You can do anything. But back then, it was
Yeah.
Sunday, everything shut down. And
Sunday's football day.
Sunday
Yeah.
was church football for our family. That was it.
Yep.
Whatever
It-
pizza.
It's quiet here because Bills have a bye week, and well, Steelers
Well,
aren't doing
guess
so hot
what?
this year. So
You're a Bills fan.
Bills
I
and
know.
Steelers.
Well, guess what? We're going to get destroyed. We're Sunday night next week is Packers Bills in Buffalo.
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And Packers have lost 3 in a row. It's going to be 4. They're going to be in the Super Bowl, if not win it all, if they stay healthy.
Football's life, dude. You know what? It's a roller coaster. It could be their year next year. You never know.
Why don't we do this, you guys? Why don't we start selling something called Katorade instead of Gatorade?
Gatorade. that
Is it
It sounds like
Kool-Aid
a
with
bug
like
spray.
8 scoops of sugar? 15?
No,
Caffeine. Lots of caffeine.
believe it or not, this is decaf.
Be 300 milligrams of caffeine in that thing. We should have that drink at KiCaSS next year.
right?
I agree. Everybody gets a
Gatorade.
Gatorade.
Gatorade. You're dragon, have a Gatorade.
Yeah, yes.
Funny.
We could do our fake. We could set up one of the sketches. We could do like a little fake taste testing of something from the Outlanders. Whatever, a drink out of a chalice.
There you
Do
go.
like before Gatorade, after Gatorade. That would be good.
Oh dear.
Just get a good lawyer in case someone gets sick.
Yeah.
No lawsuits.
Wonderful. Well, I mean that's pretty much it, Kato. We are so excited to have you back for next year. It's
Yeah.
going to be amazing. Things are already
Oh, it's
lining
great.
up. Stay tuned. We got some big announcements coming up next week, which I'm sure you'll be the first one to see it, comment it, and give us that fire that you used to do.
You're fire. And by the way, all the posts you guys are putting up with KiCaSS and PinkieSwear, they're amazing. The testimonials, great idea. It's phenomenal. I'm glad to be friends with everybody. All
Yes.
my love, Kara, Jenna, Elaine, Shawnette, anybody with animals, love you. Thanks for having me on the show. Please tell
Love you.
people about what subscribing to 1 Degree of Scandalous on YouTube.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
And
Kato.
Kara,
Thank
you've
you,
got to
Kato.
watch it because the last thing I put on Instagram, I made Miss Missouri from the Miss USA. I said in one of my posts, I said, "Get your crown right now and put it on." And so it's one of my, you got to see it. She's
I'll go
adorable.
watch. I'll look at it.
It's on my. I did a few posts, but it's on like this 2 days ago, 3 days ago. But just watch them, and I
I'll
have
look
her.
at it.
I have her putting it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yeah.
You want me to leave
This
you guys
is
with a song?
great.
Yes, please.
Wait. Wait.
It's our theme music.
Love it. Kato Kaelin saying, make this the #1 show.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Kato.
Kato. Kato.